So I thought I would do something a little different today. My name is Brenda, and I'm going to read you a book. It's called The Yellow Star, The Legend of King Christian X of Denmark. I borrowed this from a friend yesterday, and I was looking through it, and I thought, this little children's storybook is too good not to share. The Yellow Star. So, can you guys see all right there? All right. Early in the year 1940, in the country of Denmark, there were only Danes. Tall Danes, stout Danes, old Danes, silly Danes, cranky Danes, and even some Great Danes. But no matter how different from each other they seemed, the Danes held one thing in common. They were all loyal subjects to their beloved King Christian. I want to point out that these are all beautiful paintings also on every page. Every morning their king rode alone and unarmed along the streets of Denmark, capital Copenhagen. "Who's that?" a curious visitor once asked. "Why, that's our King Christian," his Danish host responded. "Without a bodyguard?" asked the astonished guest. My friend came the proud reply. "A king so loved needs no bodyguard. We Danes would all stand together in defense of our king." Little did the Danes know how much they would need their wise king in the dark days to come. Like a fierce storm, war was spreading across Europe, and even good King Christian was powerless to stop it. Soon Nazi soldiers gathered like dark clouds at the Danish border. Their arrival in Copenhagen brought food shortages, curfews, and a new flag which was hung at the palace. Here's the flag. The flag stood for war, fear, and hatred. The Danes watched and waited to see what their king would do. King Christian sent a Danish soldier to remove the flag. Upon discovering it missing, a Nazi officer demanded to see the king and asked, "Who took down the flag?" "I sent a soldier to remove it," replied the king. "Oh, you did you? Well, tomorrow another will fly in its place," the officer boasted. "Then tomorrow I will send another soldier to remove it," countered the king. "And I will have that man shot," threatened the Nazi. Leaning forward, King Christian said evenly, "Then be prepared to shoot the king, for I will be that soldier." The Nazi flag did not fly from the palace again. The missing flag became a powerful symbol of resistance, and King Christian's subjects found reason to pass the palace gates to see where it once hung. Yet it was only a small victory. The king and his people's greatest test was yet still to come. The people of Denmark were frightened. They had heard terrible stories in some places. Once Jews wore a yellow star, they were taken away and not heard from again. And as before, the people looked to their king. This time, the king was as frightened as his people. Without the yellow star to point them out, the Jews looked like any other Danes. Gentiles and Jews were all Danish subjects who worshipped God in different ways. If King Christian called on the tiny Danish army to fight, Danes would die, and if he did nothing, Danes would die. Perhaps it was this riddle of the yellow star that drew King Christian to his balcony that night. The sky was filled with the light of many stars. If you wished to hide a star, wondered the king to himself, where would you place it? His eyes searched the heavens. Of course, he thought, the answer was so simple. You would hide it among its sisters. The king summoned his tailor. The tailor arrived and listened to the king's surprising request. "We only have an hour before I ride at dawn," the king said urgently. "Can you complete this task in time?" "Yes, your highness, I'll begin immediately." The tailor began. "Yes, your highness, I'll begin immediately." The tailor bowed respectfully. "And you do understand that this means," the king insisted. "I do, your highness, as well as all your subjects," he answered with pride. "I trust they will," whispered the king, placing as much faith in his Danish subjects as they had in him. The following morning, the King of Denmark, with courage and defiance, rode along through Copenhagen as he dressed in his finest clothes. As they watched him pass, the subjects of King Christian understood what they should do. And once again, in the country of Denmark, there were only Danes. Oh, watch what they should do. There were only Danes. Because everyone in the city wore a star, so there was no way to identify just the Jews. So that's the little story. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. I thought it was a really good story. Simple. Here's a quick author's note. The story of the yellow star is a legend. It may be disappointing to the reader as it first was its author to learn that there is no proof that the story ever occurred. I learned of it as a scrap of a tale told to me by a stranger. Its imagery was so compelling and its humanity so palpable that I wanted to know more. Over the years, despite collecting various oral versions of the story, researching documents and works of fiction, most notably Lewis Lowry's moving novel Number the Stars, I found only unauthenticated references to King Christian's legendary defiance, and I learned of many facts that in their own right were as powerful as the legend itself. So I ask you this, after me reading this book to you, and if everyone in the city stood together, they're always stronger than the government. Perhaps this short story could be a lesson to all of us. And with this lesson, perhaps we should all unite. People of every color, race, creed, and creation. We should all stand together for freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of medical choice. So let me know what you think of this book below. I appreciate you watching till the end. Have a good day.